Yeah. Everyone, welcome to Kailul Shir at the Young Israel Woodmere. And it's in partnership with Breslov.org. And we're starting now a new series, and this is Hilchos Purim. Purim is in less than 5 weeks. Baruch Hashem. And so we're gonna see what Rav Nosson has to say in likutei Halachos regarding Purim, and we're gonna see how Purim really pertains to all of us in a personal way. So let's see how it goes. The Rebbe says like this: Inyan Purim Akriyas HaMegillah Al Pi Ma Shekasav Rabbeinu B'Mama B'Yom Bikurim Ayin Sham Heitiv Kol HaMaimer. That's lesson 56 in Likutei Moran. We're going to be going over that as we progress in our studies here. Now, Aleph Hine Ikir is Gabris Malchus Harishah. The main way that the Malchus of the evil Malchus, can come stronger is Shehu Haman Amalek, which is Haman Amalek. That's the Asa of Haman Amalek, right? Hu Kisha Malchus Kedusha U Behester. So in other words, when the Malchus of Kedusha, when holiness is hidden, when Malchus of Kedusha is hidden, so then the evil can pop up its head. It gets stronger, right? It gets stronger, all right? Bechinas hasta aster, and that's like the Gemara says, Esther minator minayin hasta aster is panay, right? And that's how Esther is known. When again we're not doing the right thing, when we're not following the Torah, that's Hester, and then because of that, the evil Malchus can get stronger. K'moshe kasav Elohim yamat. In other words, if this one's not strong, the other one is going to get stronger. Balkein is gaber malchus hachashverosh ayedei pegam bechet achila shegorim lehem leheinois misuda shaloisei rasha. So Achashverosh had this idea, and we're going to see why he had this idea. Why he had this idea to make specifically a suda. He wanted to make a banquet. What was the banquet about? Well, he was king for a while, and he wanted to make the thing. But why specifically a banquet? And why would he specifically invite the Jewish people? Why did he want to specifically invite the Jewish people to be part and parcel of this Suda? We're going to see. By days his Gaber through the Suda, he was able to overpower, so to say, start to overpower us because of that Suda, because of that meal, that banquet that he made. Through the Pagam of Achila, the blemish of eating, when we eat and we don't eat for the right reasons, right? In other words, there was a great tzaddik. His name was Rav Avigdor Miller, right? And Rav Avigdor Miller said, when you eat something, you should always say like this. You should say, "Kedei lahavris es haguf, v'lahavris es Hashem Elokecha." I'm eating this to give vitality to my body in order for me to serve Hashem. That's why I'm eating. But if you just eat because for the sake of eating, welcome, Dr. Samai. If you just eat, Bertie, thank you so much, Yaakov, for bringing. If you just eat for the sake of eating, so then that's a pagam and achila. It says in Devarim, when you'll hide, when the face will be hidden, you'll go to eat. In other words, by eating, it makes you tired and this, and then you don't do the right thing. Okay, in Simon Mem Zayin, lesson 47. When you eat and it's not bekashrus, that you're not eating kosher food or eating in a nice way, right? We know that there is shivim panim l'Torah, right? Chazal teaches there are 70 panim, there are at least 70 explanations when it comes to Torah. Shivim panim la Torah. And if you disconnect from this 70 panim of Torah, it's an aspect of falling asleep. Sleep. Shu bechinas hastaras panim, and that's hastaras panim, hiding, being concealed when a person is asleep. Sometimes there's an Eis Lasais Lashem, and you have to, it'll be made for what the Torah wants from us. Ayin Shaval Kain. Nisyayetz Laseis Suda B'Seif Golas Bavel. When was the Suda? When did Achashverosh decide to make the Suda? He made a calculation that this is the end of the 70 years. Right? Look at this. We're going to do a lot of 70s here. Right? We have Shivim Panim LaTorah, 70 different explanations of Torah, and then we have the 70 years of the Bavel, of Golas Bavel, and Achashverosh thought that we just came, it was the end of the 70 years, and we didn't make any tshuva, we weren't getting anywhere with it, so he figured he's going to make this Suda to really, so to say, nail the coffin on us, to make sure we don't get out of the gullahs, because he wanted to make sure his kingdom stays strong, right? Let's think about it. Achashverosh was married to Vashti. Vashti was the daughter of who? Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
Right? Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel. This was Golas Bavel. And because of that, he wanted to make sure that his kingdom would stay strong and he would remain the king. The 70 years of the Golas of Bavel, that's an aspect of sleep. We weren't doing the right thing. We were disconnected from Hashem. We weren't doing the right thing. Next page, please turn the page. Mi ika the noim shivim shinin. Right? It says in the Masechta Taanis, because he explains. Shakotzav Maimon now, bechinas Yemei Shnei Seina Behem Shivim Shana. Right? We read that we say that every Shabbos morning in the Tehillim, right? Yemei Shnei Seina Behem Shivim Shana. Right? The years of a person are 70. Again, we're doing 70s. Zramtam Sheina Yiu bechinas B'Shuv Hashem B'Shvus Tzion Hayinu Kichamim. And we know when HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mitzvah Hashem is going to bring, when Mashiach is going to come, we're going to look back at all of the Golas. We're going to look back at everything, and it'll be just like a cholam. It'll be like a dream. Shezeh koyal shivim shana shal Golas Bavel. Kamay sheperish Rashi zal v'al kain b'soif hashivim shana. At the end of the 70 years, this is the point now. Shazu is gabras hashena. In other words, at the end of the 70 years, the sleep was getting stronger on us, because he wanted to make sure that we stayed in the Golas, that we be sound asleep and not get out of the Golas. Bechinas Hastara. We don't have any more.
That's okay, can listen.
You look on with
I'll take them back, it's okay.
Yeah. I have to make more. Baruch Hashem, we have a big attendance. Baruch Hashem. Okay, anyway, here we go. Val Kain. So look, so it was the end of the 70 years. And at the end of the 70 years, he wanted to make sure that we would stay sound asleep, spiritually asleep. We're talking about spiritual sleep. We're not talking about a physical sleep. A spiritual sleep that we're not following the words of Hashem. Baal Kain, look at this now. Baal Kain kisharo haman v'achashverosh shadayin loy nigalu Yisrael. When they realized, when Haman and Achashverosh made this calculation, and they realized that we didn't go out of Mitzrayim, that we didn't go out of the Golas of Bavel, that we didn't get out, we didn't get up from our spiritual sleep. We still stayed asleep. He thought that they thought that we won't go out. They won't go out, and we'll never get up. We'll always be. We'll be in Golas, finished.
So every time this Soros is Hester upon him.
Is Hester upon him?
Yeah.
Of course. We're going to see in a minute. Yeah. Ki ad hashivim shana yesh tikva, because look what he said. Ki ad hashivim shana yesh tikva. Until it was within the time of the 70 years of Bavel, there was hope. Yesh tikva, there was hope. To get up from the spiritual sleep, to start to follow the words of the Torah, and to follow Allah and do what we're supposed to do. Because the 70 years are connected to the Shivim Panim La Torah. There are 70 different understandings of Torah. Golas Bavel was 70 years, Shivim Shana. Again, each year connected another on the explanation of Torah. Take it from Yad, the slave of Shivim Shana. So really, it was worthy that at the end of the 70 years, the Gula should come right away. V'loi te'acher afilu rega, shouldn't hold back even one moment. Because if it would last longer than the 70 years, then we would be lost from all the 70 different understandings of Torah. As I then it'll be very, very difficult for us to wake up from the sleep. In other words, while we were in and connected to the Shivim Panim of Torah in the 70 years, it wasn't difficult for us to get up. But once we would be disconnected from that, we would be in big trouble. It's the same idea like we know that we by Mitzrayim, it knows we couldn't wait any longer. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out when He took us out of Mitzrayim. Why? Because if we waited any longer, we would have fell to the 50th gate, Sharei Tumah, and then there would be no turning back. So the same idea. In other words, we're saying here that if we would stay, if we stayed in the Galus longer than 70 years, we would be then disconnected from Torah, and by disconnection from Torah, then we have no way out. But we would need what's called the Hadras Panim. Wow, Hadras Panim. What does Hadras Panim mean? Hadras Panim. The splendor of the face. What does that mean? A splendid looking face, okay? Mashiach is going to have such a splendid Mashiach. And he's going to be able to wake, he's going to, by just him shine, his going to face is going to have such a shine in it, and we'll all see that. It'll just get us, snap us out of our sleep that we're in. Shu bechinas hadras panim. That's what it means, hadras panim. Bechinas va'ad atik yoimin mitah. Until the end of the time, mitah, what does mitah mean? We would stumble until the end of time. Atik yoimin, zeh bechinas hadras panim. And he brings it down, okay, Valkain, Kisharaya Shalai Nigalu B'Saifa Shivim Shana, when Achashverosh and Haman saw that we weren't getting out, because at the end of the 70 years, Kito B'Cheshban, because really they made a mistake in their calculation. Their calculation wasn't just. They made a mistake in their calculation in what they thought was their favor. They made a mistake in the calculation, what they thought was in their favor.
Who made a mistake?
Haman and Achashverosh, when they were discussing the 70 years, when the 70 years would be up of the Golas Bavel. And they thought...
Is that from the destruction of the temple?
What kind of mistake was it?
They made a calculation. They thought the 70 years was up.
Mistake.
Right?
Arithmetic mistake.
A mathematic mistake, yeah. Kamei Shamra by saying this... From the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, yeah. From when Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the Beis HaMikdash. It was 70 years. Exactly. Kamei Shamra by saying Uzal. So they wanted to strengthen the sleep upon us, the spiritual sleep. They wanted to make us fall asleep more, deeper, an anesthetic spiritual sleep. To make us stumble from and get away from all the 70 different ways of Torah. No connection to Torah. They wanted to rip us away from the connection to Torah. And they did that through the eating. In other words, the idea was, how are we going to make certain that the Jewish people will not come back and will stay spiritually asleep and they will not get out of the gullahs? We'll make a suda, we'll have them eat, and their eating won't be bekashrus. That's why specifically they made the suda then. Why didn't he make a suda when he first became the king? He didn't just first become the king then. He should have made a suda, but why does he make a suda now? Specifically at that time? Because of this reason. So that way the Jewish people should have hana from them. We were learning in the other lessons that we shouldn't be shutfim always with the Umas Island. The Shulchan Aruch says you shouldn't have a shutf with a guy. Why shouldn't you have a shutf with a guy? We learned because then if you have a disagreement, you'll have to go to court and then swear chas v'shalom in false gods, and then we're not allowed to do that, right? And then we also learned that the Jewish people get our mazon and we get our sustenance from HaKadosh Baruch Hu from the side of kedusha. The guy gets his sustenance from the side of tumah. So even though it may seem he has dollars and you have dollars, but your dollars have a source, a holy source, and his dollars have a tumah source. So then why would I want to mix it? So Achashverosh and Haman knew this. They knew that if we're going to eat their food, we're going to eat, they were very big chacham, yes. If we're going to eat their food that they use their money on, so then that'll cause us more to stumble more spiritually, because we're connecting to them. Ki zeh yadua shekol sudasei shaloisei Rasha haya kidei lahachshel Yisrael ba'achilas issa. The whole idea was to get us to eat machalis asuras. They wanted us to eat things that were also to eat, and that was the whole idea. They wanted to make us stumble even more. Now then it says, B'zeh shamra b'seinu zal b'yom mahim kasheves hamelech al kisei malchusai. At that time, when the king was sitting on his throne, Achashverosh was on his throne. Because he made a mistake. Because he thought that the 70 years were done and we didn't get out of the Golas. And he thought that we would never get out. Because he said, wow, they fell asleep more than the 70. More than the 70, which is the Shivim Padim LaTorah. Valkin Asa Mishte Daika Kedei Lahachshel Yisrael Kedei Lahag Ba'aleim Hashena Lapilim Chas Shalom Mikol Bechinas HaShivim Shana. He wanted to really give it to us really good and make sure that we have no hope of ever coming back. Shein Bechinas HaShivim Padim Shal Torah Kedei Shaydei Zeh Tis Kayem Malchusai, until through that way his Malchus will have a kiyam. He didn't want to give up his kingdom. He liked being the king. He liked having the power. He liked being very wealthy. He didn't want to give that up. So he figured like this: if the Jewish people will get Yerushalayim back, and he understood that the way it was in the time of Shlomo HaMelech, that the world, everyone was subservient to Shlomo HaMelech, and Shlomo HaMelech really ran the world. He was running and controlling everything in the world. Achashverosh didn't want to have a situation like that again. He wanted to be the king. I don't want to give this up. I like what I have. At that very Suda, we know the Medrash, right? The Medrash said that he called up, he called that Vashti should come, and she should come unclothed, right? And then she became very ugly, right? And then and she didn't want to go. And then so why would the Torah, why would HaKadosh Baruch Hu make this such a thing? Why didn't she just go? What's the big deal? By the Ummah Salem, there was no big deal. Why didn't she go? What was the whole thing? Why she wouldn't go? And then Haman HaRasha will have the idea to kill her. Where did this come from? Let's see what he says. This was the Eitzah of the Yetzer Hara, of the other side, the evil side. What was the kavanah of the Yetzer Hara? What did he want to accomplish? See, Esther Amalka was the face of Klal Yisrael. She was the face of Klal Yisrael. She represented the Jewish people. Esther Amalka. So the Sitracha wanted that we're going to take Esther Amalka and put her in the palace, in the Tumah. We'll stick her into the Tumah, so that way certainly will never get out of the Golas. Because the Jewish people will be involved with the tzulamim, all the idols and all the things of the castle, and then she won't be able to ever get out. To bring more hastara, to bring more hiddenness, hiding, to bring more hiding. We know there's a hastara, and there's a hastara shabasaycha hastara, right? Right? There's a hastara. What's a hastara? A person, sometimes we know that there's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're trying to find Hashem, right? We know there's Hashem. We're trying to find Hashem in everything that we're doing. That's one hastara. But there's a hastara sheba soich hastara, and what's that? When I don't even know that there's a Hashem. I don't even know that there's a Hashem to look for Hashem. I don't even know that. That's a hastara sheba soich hastara. But Mordechai Mordechai was part of the Anshe Knesset Gedolah, right? He was a member, right? And he knew Kol HaTorah Kulei, and he knew how to speak the 70 languages. Again, 70, right? 70 nations, 70 languages, 70 years. Shivim Panim LaTorah, right? Interesting, right? All the connections here. V'gam yesh koyach la'oram u'la'akimam me'ashena. Mordechai had the tzaddik to wake us up from our spiritual slumber. He knew how to do that. Because we blemished in a way, the way that we were eating at the Suda. Mordechai is the Rav Chesed. He's the Rav that's Chesed, the merciful, the kind Rav. What does it mean, the kind Rav? Bechinas Hadras Panim. We said that Mashiach Tzidkenu has the Hadras Panim, and that Hadras Panim will be able to wake us up. So Mordechai HaTzadik, he was also had this Hadras Panim, and he was able to help us, as we see. Bechinas Atik Yoimim, Bechinas Sipurei Maisias, Shal Shonim Kadmonias. He would tell stories from the yesteryear, from the earlier time. By telling the stories, he'll be able to wake him up from the spiritual slumber. You know, Rabbi Nachman told he has a sefer called Sipurei Maisias. Sipurei Maisias is a book of 13 different stories that the Rebbe told, and these stories have the deepest Kabbalistic teachings in them. And he said, Rabbi Nachman said, the world tells stories to put people to sleep. He says, I tell stories to wake people up. Huh? Interesting, huh? Interesting. I tell stories to wake people up. Now look at this. Now, shall call a shivim panim. Ki Mordechai b'gematria. Look at this. Mordechai is in the gematria of what? Rav Chesed. Mordechai is Rav Chesed, and his name itself is the gematria of Rav Chesed. Okay. Now, v'zeh, we'll do another paragraph. V'zeh shematzina shekol ikar hagula. Hahu. Hevi Mordechai Aidei Sipur Maisa Bebechinas Vayaged Mordechai LeEsther Amalka. Where did the story take its turn? Where did the story start to take the turn? When he was sitting Bishar HaMelech, and he heard Bixon and Seresh were plotting their evil plot, right? And they were speaking in their foreign language. But Mordechai HaTzadik was listening. They had no idea he understood anything. But he heard their plot, and it was Vayaged Mordechai LeEsther. He told over to Esther the story, what they were plotting on the king. And Esther Malka went to Achashverosh and told him. They found that it was true. And what did they do? They wrote that down in the book. Right? They wrote it in the book. The story that happened with Esther. Through the story. So again, you see here, stories in the Megillah. The whole Megillah was a storybook, right? What's the Megillah? It's a story. Mordechai wrote us a story. What happened? It's a beautiful story, right? But Mordechai HaTzadik and Esther Malka wrote this Megillah in a way that when we read it, it can wake us up from our spiritual slumber as well. And that's how the Gula came at that time. How did the Gula come at that time? The Gula came at the time because of the whole story with the Purim. Shnas Malkai Shalaylam.
Comes Beherif Ayin.
Beherif Ayin. At that time was the what do you call it? The Gemara tells us that what? Not the Shnas Malkai Shalaylam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to say, whatever that means, HaKadosh Baruch Hu couldn't sleep, whatever that means. Right? That's what the Gemara says. So he couldn't sleep. So we come out Shamar B'Sein Nazal. V'zeh Haya Yedei Tzipor Maisias Shel Bechinas Mordechai. And they told over the story what happened with Mordechai. What happened at that time, right? What happened at that night? It said the Medrash says that the Malach came and opened the book to this story. Why would they wouldn't want to say over anything nice about a Jew. They're not going to want to say anything nice about a Jew. Why did they have to say? Because the Malach came and opened the book for them at that page. So they had to read from that page. It was Mamish, the whole thing was Mina Shemayim. Kamaisha Kosa Vayomer, and he said, Lohavi Sefer Zechroinais. Achashverosh said when he couldn't sleep, bring me my Sefer Zechroinais, bring me the book of remembrances. But the Chronicles, right? You call that Chronicles?
Yeah.
The Chronicles.
Yeah, Yom Chronicles.
Divrei Hayamim. V'yimotzei kiskosav asher higid Mordechai. And they found in there what Mordechai told over. Amazing, fascinating. Of all the things in the Chronicles of the King, they bring up this story. It comes up. You see the Yad Hashem, Mamish, and everything. Shemotzu Sipuri Maisiyah Shel Mordechai Bechinas Rav Chesed. It told over the Maisa of Mordechai, the Rav Chesed. We said Mordechai's name is the Gematria Rav Chesed, which is Hadras Panim, which is the Mashiach. Mordechai was our Mashiach at that time. He saved us from the whole thing. Because Esther Malka is Knesset Yisrael, the face of Knesset Yisrael. Shebo ba'astaras panim b'chinas sheina. Shayidei zeh hikitzam v'oivra meyashena. It woke us up from our spiritual sleep. Esther Malka told us that we have to fast. If you want me to go to the king, right, you're going to have to fast and with me. It's not going to be that I'm just going to do this. You're going to have to work with me. And he brought us back to make tshuva. That was the whole thing. We needed to make tshuva. That's all Hashem wanted us to do, was to make tshuva. And that caused an awakening up on high. That caused an awakening up on high. That even HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to say, felt compelled to do something because we were doing something down here. It's amazing. Because we know whenever there's an awakening down here in this world, right? Whenever there's an awakening, we do something to show Hashem that we're trying. Who is Sarusa de Leila that causes an awakening up on high? The Sarusa de Lasata causes the Sarusa de Leila. Esther Malka told over to the king, what? B'shei Mordechai. In his name, she used his name. Bechinas Esther, the Hainu Knesset Yisrael. Hoya la Pischon Perla Hamlitz Toiv Yisrael. She had now an opening. She had an opening to be a melitz, to bring some salvation to Klal Yisrael because of Mordechai. Rav Chesed, Hadras Panim, Mordechai. Ki Sofra Malkoi. Lemalkoi shel olam shehevi lemala sipurei ma'asiyah shel Mordechai shaydeze hayis Osiris hashena. That was the Osiris of the Shena itself. So we'll finish the paragraph. V'zeh bechinas kriyas hamegillah shekavu l'doires likreis hamegillah b'chol shana v'shana. Why? We have many different miracles that happen to us, right? We have the miracle of Hanukkah. Why don't we have a Megillah? Why don't we have to read a Megillah? Why did Mordechai specifically tell us, with this holiday, we're going to have to read a Megillah? Make a Megillah and read this Megillah on the holiday. And the holiday is based around Mikra Megillah, right? Because when we actually read the Megillah, listen to the words of the Megillah, we're listening to the words of Mordechai and Esther, that actually wakes us up from our spiritual slumber. V'chol ikaro hu b'chinas sipur ma'aseh shemascheles vayibi me'achashverosh. It starts off vayibi me'achashverosh. The problem, right? Vayibi me'achashverosh. V'chein at soif Megillah hakol hoylech al derech sipur ma'aseh shehu ma'aseh shel Mordechai v'Esther. The whole Megillah is a story about Mordechai and Esther, how things happen. Of the earlier years. Each and every year we can be awakened again from our spiritual slumber. We can start again. We can get a fresh start by listening to Megillah. That's what it means in the Megillah when it says, these days, Niskarim, they should be remembered, Vinasim, and you do something. Vinasim, and they'll be done again. What does it mean they'll be done again? Please turn the page. It helps us to remember who we are and what we're supposed to do in life, and how we're supposed to be connected to the Torah, how we're supposed to be connected to Hashem and the Tzaddikim. This is what the Megillah helps us. From what we had forgotten, because Shena, when we go to sleep, the mind leaves us, right? When you go to sleep at night, you rest your mind. It's a stalkus hamaychen. The mind, so to say, exits. It goes to it rests when we go to sleep. Haman wanted to have this poor a lottery. He wanted a lottery. Shu bechina shichacha. K'maycha kasav. V'chein b'chol shana v'shana. B'chol shana nasa zay. So they create a Megillah. Mevatlin hashichacha b'china shena. By us reading the Megillah, it helps us to forget what we're supposed to forget and remember what we're supposed to remember. Became a high time, and from this reason, Amr B'Seinu Zal, Sarich Lefoshta Ki Geres. You know the Megillah. If you ever noticed when they read the Megillah, they don't read the Megillah. They unroll it. It has to be folded. It has to be folded. Why? It's strange, right? Why should the Megillah be folded?
The Geras.
I understand, but why? Now we're going to understand why. What's the importance that it's in Igeris? Why?
Because they send it around to all the places.
I understand, but then we're going to see here. Watch this. Igeris ki kemay siper ma'aser shemesaper migeris ma'aser shehayibi mei Mordechai. It's telling over the story again. What happened there? It's fresh. It's not something that I'm reading that happened so many years ago. It's like I'm reading a story of my story, your story, and everyone's story at this time.
Your question why it has to be the Geras, not answered by the fact.
No. Why it's a letter? Because it's something of current events. It's current. Yeah. See, if it was just a story, I'm reading a Megillah, I'm reading a story from the Esther time. So that's a story from the Esther time. But I'm reading like in the Geras, I got a special delivery. I'm reading my special delivery. It's fresh.
I'll tell you what
Tell me what you want.
They said that if the Torah wouldn't have been
Amen.
given, if the Torah would not have been given in Har Sinai, they would kibu the kibul. They re-accepted it.
Exactly.
So they made the acceptance like a Torah. That's what the Geras is.
Wonderful. And we just learned that there's Shivim Panim L'Torah, there's 70, so that's your, and this Rav Nassim's explanation. Wonderful.
That's the concept of
Perfect.
The Torah
Perfect.
is also like a scroll. So they repeated that because they accepted.
Perfect.
I don't
Okay.
think it's as good as his, but it's...
Shoayibi Mei Mordechai was at the time when Esther Bechinas Masa Shal Shalim Kadmanias, a story of yesteryear, and we'll stop over here. Everyone will take our quick break. Okay, thank you, everybody.